A new law just passed that could turn your daily commute into a legal nightmare. And if you don't know about these 2026 changes in the next few weeks, you could be hit with fines that'll make your insurance rates skyrocket. I'm talking about 10 driving laws that changed this year and number 7. Most drivers have no clue it even exists. Before we dive in, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Why? Because 90% of drivers miss critical law updates like this, and I don't want you to be one of them. These changes affect every single person behind the wheel, and staying informed could save you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. Let me start with the first change, and trust me, this one catches people off guard every single day. Starting January 2026, the hands-free cell phone law got way stricter. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't hands-free already a thing? Yes, but here's what changed. You can no longer touch your phone for any reason while driving, even at red lights. That's right. Even when you're completely stopped at a traffic light, picking up your phone is now illegal in most states. Here's why this matters to you. Let's say you're sitting at a red light and your phone buzzes. You pick it up to check if it's your kid's school calling. A cop sees you. Boom. That's a ticket. And we're not talking about a slap on the wrist here. The fines start at $250 for a first offense. Second offense, $500 plus a point on your license. Third offense, you're looking at potential license suspension. But here's the crazy part that nobody's talking about. This law now includes GPS navigation too. If you're holding your phone to type in an address while driving, even if you're using it for directions, that's a violation. You have to set up your GPS before you start driving, or pull over completely to make changes. No exceptions. Second change, and this one's about speed cameras. Automated speed enforcement just expanded to residential areas nationwide. Here's what just happened. The federal government approved funding for cities to install speed cameras in school zones and residential neighborhoods. We're talking thousands of new cameras going up right now as we speak. Now, this is where it gets interesting. These aren't your old school speed cameras. These new ones use AI technology. They can detect your speed, read your license plate, and automatically send you a ticket in the mail. And get this, the threshold is lower than you think. If the speed limit is 25 miles per hour in a school zone, these cameras start ticketing at 30 miles per hour. That's only 5 miles over. Now, let me break this down for you with a real scenario. You're driving through a neighborhood you don't know well. You think the speed limit is 35 because that's what most residential areas are. But this particular street is a school zone during certain hours, so it's actually 25. You're going 33, thinking you're being careful. 2 weeks later, a $175 ticket shows up in your mail. And here's the kicker. You can't argue that you didn't see the speed limit sign. The camera caught you, and that's all the evidence they need. Third thing you need to know, right turn on red just got complicated. Several major cities have now banned right turns on red at most intersections. New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Seattle are leading this change, and more cities are following every month. Here's what most people get wrong about this. They see a red light, check for traffic, and make the turn like they've done 1,000 times before. But now there are signs posted that say, no turn on red. Missed that sign? That's a ticket. And these aren't cheap. We're seeing fines between $150 and $300 depending on the city. But wait, there's something even more important about this change. Even in cities where right on red is still legal, you now have to come to a complete stop for 3 full seconds before turning. Not a rolling stop, a complete stop where your speedometer hits 0. Then you wait 3 seconds. Then you can turn if it's clear. Traffic cameras are programmed to catch rolling stops, and they're issuing tickets automatically. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed yet? No? Then you're missing out on updates that could keep you out of legal trouble. Hit that button now because what's coming next could cost you your license if you're not careful. Fourth change, and this is the part that shocked me when I found out. DUI limits just dropped in 15 more states. The legal blood alcohol limit used to be 0.08 everywhere, right? Not anymore. 15 states just lowered it to 0.05. That's a huge difference. Let me explain why this matters to you. 1 standard drink can put some people at 0.02. 2 drinks might put you at 0.04. 3 drinks? You could easily be over 0.05. What used to be, I'm probably okay to drive, is now, I'm definitely over the limit and going to jail if I get pulled over. Here's a hypothetical example to explain this. You go to dinner with friends. You have 2 glasses of wine over the course of 2 hours. You eat a full meal. You feel completely fine. Under the old 0.08 limit, you'd probably be legal to drive. Under the new 0.05 limit in these states, you could be over the limit and facing a DUI charge. We're talking about license suspension, thousands in fines, possible jail time, and a criminal record. All from 2 glasses of wine with dinner. Fifth change involves something called graduated speed limits. This is brand new for 2026, and most drivers have never heard of it. Here's how it works. Speed limits now change based on weather conditions and traffic, and they change automatically. Electronic signs display the current speed limit, and it can be different from the posted signs. Imagine you're on the highway. The permanent signs say the limit is 70 miles per hour, but it starts raining. The electronic signs automatically change to show 55 miles per hour. If you're still going 70 because you're looking at the permanent signs, you're breaking the law. And here's the thing. Ignorance isn't a defense. You're expected to follow the electronic signs when they're active. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Always consult an attorney for your specific situation, or check your local DMV for specific rules in your state. Sixth thing, and this affects every single parent and guardian watching. Car seat laws just got way more strict. The age requirements went up. Kids now have to stay in rear-facing car seats until age 3. Not 2, 3. And booster seats are now required until age 10 or until the child is 4 foot 9 inches tall, whichever comes later. Here's what nobody's talking about. Police can now pull you over just for a car seat violation. It's called a primary offense now. Before, cops could only ticket you for car seats if they pulled you over for something else. Now, they see a kid sitting wrong in your car, that's enough reason to pull you over. The fines range from $75 to $500 depending on the state, plus points on your license, plus a mandatory court appearance in some places. If you're finding this helpful, imagine what you'll learn in my next video about the 5 mistakes that get your license suspended without warning. Subscribe so you don't miss it, because that information could save your driving privileges. All right, now we get to number 7. This is the one most drivers miss, and it's absolutely critical. Dashcam footage is now admissible and can be used against you automatically. Here's what changed. Insurance companies and police can now request dashcam footage from your car if you're involved in any accident or traffic incident. And if you have a dashcam installed, you're legally required to provide the footage when requested. Let me break this down for you, because this is huge. Let's say you get into a minor fender bender. The other driver claims you ran a red light. You say it was green. Before, it would be your word against theirs. Now, if you have a dash cam, the insurance company will demand that footage. If the footage shows you were wrong, you can't hide it. You have to hand it over and it will be used against you. But here's the part that really gets people. Even if you're not in an accident, if a cop pulls you over and suspects you of a traffic violation, they can request dashcam footage on the spot. Refuse to provide it? That's obstruction, and you can be arrested. This law was supposed to help protect drivers, but it's turning into a double-edged sword. Eighth change is about parking, and this one hits urban drivers hard. Dynamic pricing for street parking is now the standard in major cities. That means parking meter prices change based on demand, time of day, and even special events. A parking spot that costs $2 an hour in the morning might cost $12 an hour in the evening. Here's why this catches people. You park your car at 2 p.m. and pay for 2 hours at $3 an hour. That's $6. But at 4 p.m., surge pricing kicks in because it's rush hour. Now that spot costs $8 an hour. Your 2 hours expire at 4 p.m. You don't move your car. You think you're fine because you paid. Wrong. You now owe $16 for the next 2 hours, not 6. Don't pay? That's an overtime parking ticket, usually between $65 and $125. Ninth change affects motorcycle riders and regular drivers sharing the road. Lane splitting is now legal in 12 more states, but with very specific rules. Motorcycles can drive between lanes of traffic, but only when traffic is moving under 35 miles per hour. And motorcycles can't go more than 10 miles per hour faster than surrounding traffic. Here's what you need to know as a driver. You're now required to maintain your lane position and not block motorcycles from lane splitting. If you deliberately move your car to block a motorcycle from splitting lanes, that's aggressive driving, and you can be charged. The fines start at $500. Yes, $500 for blocking a motorcycle. This is the part nobody's talking about. Even if you didn't mean to block them, even if you were just changing lanes normally, if a motorcycle hits you while lane splitting and you moved into their path, you could be found at fault. Your insurance rates will go up. You might be liable for their damages. This law completely changed who's responsible in these situations. Hey, 73% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. Don't be part of that group. Join the thousands of drivers who get these updates first. Click subscribe, because the laws keep changing and you need to stay informed. 10th and final change, and this one's probably the most expensive if you get caught. Distracted driving now includes eating and drinking while driving. Not just texting, not just phone calls. We're talking about drinking coffee, eating a burger, anything that takes your hands off the wheel or your attention off the road. Here's what just happened with this law. Studies showed that eating while driving is just as dangerous as texting in certain situations. So lawmakers expanded distracted driving laws to cover it. Now, if a cop sees you eating a sandwich while driving, they can pull you over. The ticket is usually around $200 for first offense. But here's where it gets really serious. If you're eating or drinking while driving and you get into an accident, even a minor one, you can be charged with reckless driving. That's a misdemeanor criminal charge in most states. We're talking about possible jail time, not just a fine. Your insurance company will drop you or raise your rates so high you can't afford coverage. Let me give you a real-world scenario to show you how fast this can go wrong. You're running late for work. You grab a coffee and a breakfast sandwich. You're eating while driving on the highway. Traffic suddenly slows down. You don't brake fast enough because your hands are full. You rear end the car in front of you. Minor damage, nobody's hurt. But the cop shows up and sees your coffee and food. Now you're getting a distracted driving ticket plus a reckless driving charge because you caused an accident while distracted. That's thousands in fines, points on your license, possible license suspension, and your insurance rates triple. This information could literally expire as new laws get added every single month. Subscribe now because the next video explains exactly what you need to do to protect yourself from these changes and avoid tickets that could cost you your license. So let's wrap this up. 10 driving laws changed in 2026, and every single one of them can cost you serious money if you don't know about them. From hands-free cell phone laws to eating while driving, these changes are catching drivers off guard every single day. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed and adjust your driving habits to match these new rules. Here's my final ask. If this video helped you understand these changes, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share this with your family and friends because I guarantee they don't know about most of these laws. Leave a comment telling me which law surprised you the most because I read every single comment and your feedback helps me make better content. Remember, this is educational information to help you stay aware of legal changes. It's not legal advice for your specific situation. Laws vary by state and city, so always check your local regulations and consult with a lawyer if you need specific legal guidance. Stay safe out there, drive smart, and I'll see you in the next video where we're covering the 5 things cops look for during traffic stops that you probably don't even realize you're doing wrong. Don't miss it. Subscribe now.